I get sent videos and asked opinions as to why horses are doing certain behaviors. And of course, they're going to always send me negative behaviors. So um, I'm going to share a video with you and let's watch it together. And then let me share my thoughts with you. Well, I see a lot of tension there. Well, that's nice. Horses can only do 6 things besides stand still: go forward, backwards, right, left, up and down, or a combination thereof. This horse seems to be able to have mastered all those. It's like a very high level competition and preparing to compete. All right, looks like she signaled, I'm ready. I would be very doubtful that after that horse's behavior right there that he'd be very ready. Oh, it looks pretty good right there. Oh, now he's raring to go, but he can't go because he's raring. So horses' number one instincts are very prevalent here. They're perceptive to danger, people, places, changes, and things that we're not perceptive of. That looks like a good idea. Just forget the test. Let's get back to the relationship. Good idea. Rhythm, relaxation, and understanding are the three most important keys that we can have with the horse. It is rhythm and relaxation and energy create power. Energy and tension create chaos, and this is what we saw here was a lot of chaos. And the thing that I see here is that there's a lot of engagement. And whenever we pick up the reins with both hands, we're going to make contact and then connect our body, engage, hopefully into a conversation. But we can also engage into an argument or a battle. All right. And the three reasons that horses don't do what we want are fear, lack of understanding, or disrespect. And I personally see all three of those going on here. Whatever he was afraid of, if there was some physical object, or just the fear of having his tension. I see a lot of adrenaline and a lot of, looks like, cortisol levels rising way up. So one of great masters of Western sports, a man named Buster Welch, once told me, I ask a horse three questions. Number one, do you have the talent? Number two, are you coachable? And number three, are you a show horse? And on the day of the show, do you give me that extra 20% more than we do at home? But like most people, as competitors, a lot of people get nervous. They get butterflies on the day of the competition, which transmit down to the horse through the sympathetic nervous system. and a parasympathetic nervous system, and the nerves go down into the horse. So a lot of times what happens is people and horses can do better at home, but when it's time for the day of the test, they go down by 20%. So those three questions are very important to be able to ask any horse if you're going to be involved in any competition, any kind of a sport. But the rhythm, the relaxation, and the understanding is really, really important. So what I also see here is that there's not an ability here to disengage the horse from this way of thinking and behaving. And the way that everything that we need a horse to do, or everything a horse does do, starts in his heart, goes to his head, into his mind, then to his shapes his body, and then transfers gets the weight right, and then moves his feet. Whether it's a positive thing for what we want him to do or a negative thing. So for whatever reason, this horse had a tendency to be scared or reluctant or both and disrespectful. It was strong deep in his heart. Then it got strong in his mind. And then he would shape every time we wanted to go left, he'd tip his nose to the right or vice versa. So I see a lot of things here that are these behaviors are erupting just when we don't want them to. Why? Because it's a big moment. It looks like a big show. We're going to have a lot of adrenaline, probably ourselves. It's transmitting to the horse. Maybe the arena itself is scary, spooky. And so one of the things that I have always believed in is prior and proper preparation prevents poor performance. And if they're afraid of blackbirds, we better get them used to eagles. And there's some things that we can do not to desensitize a horse. Confidence. We need horses to be confident. The other thing is that we want our horses to be calm, smart, brave, and then get athletic. And what I saw here was a horse that wasn't calm, who wasn't acting smart and wasn't brave, and then he got very athletic. I commend the rider for being able to even stay on a horse that can do that. Not sure I can do that anymore. So this is how the things should go. What should we do about it? Well, to me, reenacting these situations, and a lot of times I've seen horses that have this show anxiety, competition anxiety, and taking them to a competition where you're not going to compete that day, where you hang out with them on the ground, do the ground skills that you can develop, or even sitting on a horse and just riding around and saying, when we show up to these things, this is not necessarily your day to compete. So, but in the end, disengagement, being the ability to be able to use our bit to control the horse laterally and be able to get lateral flexion, be able to hold the horse and disengage the hindquarters. Engaging the hindquarters means the hind legs hit squarely and in power. That's why you see a lot of race horses. A lot of riders are in training, they're leaning, they make a bridge and they hold back on the horse and give the horse even contact, holding back in the hind legs. It's strong like this. This is why so many people, when a horse runs off, they pull back on both reins and it puts more power to the hind legs. Instead, you're almost better off to turn loose of the reins, which I also could see here. There was a lot of times where turning loose of the reins would have been to get some forward movement instead of asking for the vertical flexion to engage, and as it turned out into a bit of a battle that we could have also disengaged right side, left side equally. So here, what we really want to do to become super competitors ourselves is get in the zone, and that's when we produce adrenaline along with serotonin and dopamine and these positive chemistries in our body. But we also got to teach our equine athletes to do the same thing. So to hurry up and relax, because remember that the energy and relaxation create power. Energy and tension create chaos. And this is what I see here. So get our horses to become our partner by being calm, smart, brave, and athletic, mentally, emotionally, physically, and even enhancing their spirit to turn that horseplay into horsepower that we can use in a fun and productive way.